Yeah, I don't be hearing conversations amongst men about.
We don't have great black men, great black leaders that are literally the Ben Carsons of the world, the Thomas Sowells. We don't love those guys.
Oh my God, that's it. I'm done. So I totally get your character, and you guys this conversation with him is pointless.
We don't champion the Colin Powells. We don't highlight those guys.
All we're saying is
most men are similar to those people.
How don't they? We don't champion the Robert Smiths that went back into
so you
HBCUs and paid for the student loans of all of
Thomas Sowell is trash.
You win.
But
I don't think
did you just say Thomas Sowell is trash?
I absolutely did. No. Those type of mindsets that him and Candace Owens have are very trash.
And
they're very self-hate. They're very self-hating.
No,
and they don't like black people for real. No, and they're like puppets for the white community. And that is why I love everything Candace Owens is saying about the trans community, because most of it is true. But even a broken clock could be right 2 times a day, because most of her viewpoints are very demeaning to her people without empathy. And that is the same type of white puppet masquerading jargon that Thomas Sowell preaches, and it's disgusting.
Honestly,
I don't like that.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all at this point.
White supremacist rhetoric and narratives.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all at this point.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Literally making videos for high school and college students, rebranding what slavery was. She's literally perpetuating what this narrative is, why they're working so hard to not teach the real history in school, while they're banning critical race theory.
Yes, just BS all around.
Which it should have been never called that in the first place. It should just been called American history. But because the guilt is on a lot of their hands, they don't want to teach that, because they don't want one day somebody wakes up and
because we're better than that. So we don't need to talk about what really happened. It's bullshit.
So when you listen to people like Candace Owens, who is in bed with a white man, you can't say,
okay, we're not gonna do that. I can't agree with you.
Yeah, I'm not discrediting her because of that. I'm not discrediting her because of that.
What I'm saying,
I don't like Candace at all.
What I'm saying is this: you cannot necessarily trust somebody who perpetuates white supremacist rhetoric just because she is black. And if she's laying with a
hold on.
Very okay, y'all got it.
You know, I'm so disappointed in y'all. I had hope.
I'm with you, John.
I can't agree with that.
I'm disappointed in you, Anton, because I actually really like you, and I'm a subscribe to your Millionaire podcast if that's what you got, because you're obviously successful. So I know where to get wisdom from, where I need to. You know what I'm saying? So I respect you. But if one of your heroes is that guy and her, that is something I can never get on board with. But I take wisdom from everyone, and so I can definitely
fellas. I've never said this before. I've never advocated for this before. I'm gonna let Quentin and How To Man have it after this.
This is crazy.
I have never ever said this that I'm about to say right now, and I didn't think that I would ever come to this point. It's time to get y'all passports.
Oh my God.
No,
passport, bro, because
listen, fellas, look at him.
Don't want to agree with it.
Look at him.
Erasure of slavery.
Listen, fam. Listen, y'all. Look, I've never been the type of dude that advocate for because I didn't understand it, and so listen. I apologize to every last one of these dudes,
right?
That I've ever said that you don't necessarily need a passport.
Go get them.
I apologize to y'all.
Better. It doesn't.
Please
go get it. Your passport.
Go get these women from other countries who's going to exploit you more.
Please go there.
Who's going to exploit you more than the women over here? But because they're submissive, you're willing to take that.
Go ahead
and be willing
to bring.
Go get them. Please go get them.
her husband prepared to take care of her entire family. Please, we want you all to experience this. This is your destiny. You're right. We're not built for it. We're not.
It's what you were made for.
This is what you were made for. This is your shining hour. You are winning in the space. We really advocate for all Black men who are just so tired of Black women. You have failed. We have failed you here in America. Please get the passport and go. Please tell us all about it, or don't. Or don't.
Stay over there.
You can stay, baby.
Or bring him here.
You can stay
if you want to pay those fees too.
Hey, it's not Black women in America that he's advocating for guys to get away from. And I think y'all missed it. He said it already. Women. America has been ruining women, and that's a fucking fact, right? All of this women empowerment shit. We can do for ourselves. I don't need a man. I want a man. All that goofy shit. Hey, look, let me put the world in perspective for y'all, right? I've been to a few different places in the world. Few of them have been bombed out and depleted. And one thing that I realize is in these third world countries, right, even second world countries, women cling to their men because they realize that they need a man to make it in the world. The only reason why women can do this whole independent shit that they do in America is because of men. Men set up the system for you guys to be able to do that. Your average, look, not even above average athlete or anything, just your average 14-year-old male can dog walk a fully grown woman in a fight. With dog walk, it wouldn't even be fair.
No, it's not true.
I don't know too many grown ass men that's like,
what are you talking about?
14-year-old might whoop my ass. I'm saying that to say, not that you guys just need men to put money on the table, right? But you need a man. You're literally biologically set up to need a fucking man. But all of this obstinance and intransigence that you guys display is counterintuitive to you guys having a relationship. All these I feel that a lot of you guys
Can you say that word again?
What's intransigence? Is that what you said? What does that mean?
I just heard
man, my job isn't to be anyone's dictionary, man. My whole point is that a lot of you guys' ideals are antithetical to having a relationship.
It means you're unwilling to change. That's what it means.
And look. Past that, I can agree on certain points with you guys. I find Candace Owens to be reprehensible, right? That's neither here nor there.
Y'all gotta stop this Candace Owens hate.
You guys need to get y'all shit
at least that, sir.
There are
you guys need
things
to
that
get your shit together.
says that I'd be like, you right, bitch. There are certain things, but there are quite a few others, specifically when it comes to the Black community, that I cannot get behind. I can't.
We need somebody that's gonna hold our community accountable.
She's not holding us accountable.
Yes, Queen. She is.
She's demeaning and degrading. That's not holding accountable.
Nobody in the mainstream space looks like her, who, it does rock her natural hair just like you. She has no problem saying the opposite of what the rhetoric is for our own community. Like, why can't somebody say, if you really listen to her talking points are very valid. It's like, this is wrong. I'm embarrassed that Black women are behaving this way. It's not racist to say that. How many times do we say that against our own people? But if Candace says it, she's racist. She's not for the Black community. You can be for something and love it so much that you're going to hurt some feelings. That's our problem. We want to be caught up with our feelings as a community, and nobody can sit there and say anything about another Black person publicly without it being shameful. And that's our problem. We don't hold each other accountable.
Hey, have you guys heard of Simon Sinek?
I think that it's very important to have people that look like us in that.
Have you guys heard of Simon Sinek?
But I don't think that's what she's doing. All she does is perpetuate negative stereotypes specifically about Black people. That's not holding us accountable.
Hey,
that's
Jazz.
further perpetuating a false narrative that keeps Black people in a certain place. Holding Black people accountable doesn't look like that. And then on top of that, if she's for us, if she's necessarily for us, how many times have you heard her speak anything positive about the Black community? But
I've heard a lot of things. I've heard a lot of times she's said positive things about the Black community.
Can you name five, just like you named off of what she has said negatively? Can you give me
Okay. Do you feel like us as a community, are we perfect? or we're just our community in itself? Do you feel like we are a positive?
Who is perfect though? No one is perfect. Does she call out white people for their BS?
Nobody is.
Yes,
perfection. No, she doesn't, because she denies racism.
I just feel like
not in the same way that she demeans black people. No.
I don't consider, there are going to be clips, and people take clips and think that if a clip goes viral, this is who a person is. But I actually consume her content, and because I was curious why everybody was like, she hates black people, she's a coon, and I was like, you know what, let me go like actually consume her content. Similar to, I know we've been bringing up Kevin Samuels. When you actually consume the content and really see what people are saying in full context, I do believe that she is actually more for our community than we actually want to accept. Now, and I also don't agree with you by saying that because she married a white man. I don't agree that that has anything to do with her having talking points that are more conservative. So I don't agree with you saying that as well about her, but I actually consume her content on a daily basis. So, or at least consistently enough to know that she holds white people accountable, black people accountable. She says when things are good. She says when things are good in the other way. I think she has a fair take.
But here's the thing.
Hey, yo, hey, Queen and Jazz. Hey, I'm trying to ask you guys a question. Have you heard of Simon? Hey, Jazz, can you hear me? Jazz, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of Simon Sinek?
No.
All right. He authored a few different leadership books. One of those books is Start With Why, right? And I'd like to extrapolate that out from just leadership and say that the why is most important in a number of different things. So I challenge you guys to start putting the why first, right? Like before I read something, I look into the author's background, right? They had someone that brought up a study to me not too long ago where it said, and I found this to be reprehensible too, but they showed me this study that said they researched ancient language and that they came to the conclusion that the words that was used to say that man shall not lay with man, right, that the Bible pretty much wasn't saying that homosexuality was wrong. So I looked into the author's background before I even began to read the literature, and what I found out is that this is an LGBTQ advocate. On top of that, she does not have a degree in philology or anything of that nature. Her PhD is actually in theology, right? This is a theologian speaking to matters that she isn't learned about, right? So that gave me pause for concern. Then I looked at all of her sources. All of her sources were also from other LGBTQ advocates. So it's like, all right, there's an agenda here. So what I'm saying is, look at the why behind what someone is doing, the why behind what someone is saying, and look at your why for disagreeing with it. And somewhere in the midst of all of that will be the truth, right? I think that Queen is kind of simping for Candace. I think that you have some type of animosity towards her.
Oh my goodness.
But the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
I didn't know women simping for other women. That's crazy.
Of everything that I said, what you took from that was simping.
Because you're saying that I'm simping for somebody. I have a real opinion. I heard what you said. I'm not simping for Candace Owens. I'm just saying that I just say that a lot of times people only in our community, we look at clips, right? We look at the shade room. And if somebody posts a clip about Candace Owens and it's negative, people will take that clip and say, she's a coon. Just off of a clip soundbite. I'm saying that the problem with our community too is we don't do our own research. Like people will just make an opinion about somebody based off a clip, but you don't even know their premise. And you're talking, I do agree that there is a middle somewhere.
I'm not 100%. Saying that there's a middle somewhere, Queen. You just heard one thing and that was your trigger, and that's what you hyper fixated on. What I'm trying to say.
I heard what you said.
The disrespect to Candace Owens and Thomas Sowell is amazing.
I never disrespected Thomas Sowell though, just to keep that in perspective.
Give a damn about disrespecting Candace Owens. She don't give a damn about disrespecting anybody else. So what? We don't have to like everything that she said just because we don't agree with everything. I literally said there are some things that she says especially regarding LGBTQIA, how they involve children. She be right on point with that. But when it comes to this, Our community, no, she ain't. She not for the progress of our people. She
Absolutely,
said out
I
of her mouth.
agree with that.
She says out of her mouth, you can't get progress for our people if you deny racism. If you say that systemic racism doesn't exist, that's not disrespecting her. That's just calling it what it is. She's not. She's not for it. She has to be for what she stands on. She has to look at who she's in proximity to, what she married into.
Right.
Her there can be a
but see, that's the only thing I believe that anybody can marry who they want to marry. Like I prefer black, but I'll marry anyways. I support anybody else who wants to marry outside their race. However, I don't know if y'all heard of FD Signifier, but he just made a video about mixed race couples, and the thing is like it's totally okay. We're all human. It's nothing wrong with dating out. However, you can definitely tell, or sometimes you can't tell, but there are definitely ulterior motives at play sometimes. Like, you know, people might marry out because they hate themselves or they hate, you know, certain, it's like, it's a toxic way to do it and it's a natural, organic way to do it. No one can really tell the difference, but you know that some people are only dating out because, you know, white men are richer, or they're only dating out because they don't want a black woman because she got too much, like you can tell when it's, you can't tell it, but there's toxic reasons and then there's normal reasons. So dating out is fine. I'm never gonna be mad at Candace Owens because she got a white husband. Like if she got a happy relationship, I'm happy for her. But yes, her views about the black community are too demeaning, are too damaging, and she tries to, you know, the erasure of systematic racism like it doesn't exist is just idiotic to me.